weird. This was weird. I'd never used. You had to push a button every time to talk.
Cheers, Foss.
Yeah, I think it just lots changed in 7 days, isn't it? You know, like it's a great example of Test match rugby, and I guess it's what we love about it is that it throws up games like that after last week, and it's a clear example of why you never underestimate a team that's hungry and really wants to succeed. And I congratulate the Wallabies for how they played today. It was a very disruptive game. It didn't flow, but there was a massive degree of intent from both teams to play, particularly within the circumstances of the cards, and really they controlled the game better than us and are deserved winners. So with that, questions?
Do you think are you happy to see one of your players sent off given a red card for high tackle that just off the target? Like, what's your...
Oh, look, it is what it is right now. We'll obviously go and have a look at it, but I don't think now's a great time to debate the accuracy of the decisions. We were probably more unhappy with a couple of TMO decisions last week than this week. It is what it is, and to be fair, the way the game went, both teams got dealt with the same cards, dare I say it. But we'll go back and have a good look at it and see what happens.
And is it harder to digest, though, when it wasn't even initially a penalty? Like, he's gone from nothing to a red card. I mean, surely that's going to be an issue, a broader issue.
Yeah, it seemed to jump, and there was a lot of voices in people's ears. So, but like I said, it is what it is, and sometimes when you're trying to grow your team, you get a different circumstance like we got dealt with, and in some ways it's just a new challenge for us to deal with it in terms of trying to stay calm. And I thought there were large parts. I was really proud of our effort. That I thought we did. We played with a lot of passion at times. We certainly applied a lot of pressure, but we just couldn't break them the way that we wanted to, and they hung in there, and then the momentum swung around a little bit with some other cards. So, and Scooter's one near the end sort of was kind of a bad timing for a card and put us under immense pressure.
Sam, from a player's perspective, is it frustrating for you guys that a game that could have been a really good contest, there's just that degree of chance almost that a tackle could get you covered?
Look, when I think of the game as a whole, it just reminds me of Test match rugby. Like, it doesn't matter if there's 15 players on each side or it gets down to 14, 13, 14, 14. The game's based off building pressure, playing smart, intensity and accuracy. And look, I didn't think we were quite smart enough when we got down. And then I thought we brought the intensity, but we lacked a bit of accuracy. And those are the things that hurt us. I thought the Aussies did those really well and controlled the game for large parts.
Is it hard to play at physicality, the level of physicality you want to when you know that you only have to slip up marginally for it to be good?
Look, I think it's a fast-moving game, and there's big collisions, and every now and then players are going to get them slightly wrong. And I don't think either of those cards were malicious or they were dirty play by any means, but they were just fractionally off. But we spent a lot of time practicing perfect technique, but I think in top sport like this, there will be the odd error, unfortunately.
In the Wallabies, fans, the Australian rugby public are very excited about Rick Corambetti at the moment. Would a player like that, would he fit into an All Blacks team?
I wouldn't even want to comment there. I'm pretty happy with who we got.
How do you think you handled it when you lost a man? Do you think about it the right way. I think in commentary they were saying an All Blacks like a bit disorganised rather than sort of methodical approach of normal.
You know, well, I guess we'll hard to change that opinion, but it's overall pretty happy. I think it does take you a little time. You know, I was particularly disappointed for Akira because I thought he started his first Test start magnificent, really. You know, the first 25 minutes, and then of course we had to take a Lucy off. So it's pretty tough with the two experienced campaigners next to him. So it did take a little while, but I think if you look at where the game went, you know, particularly the last 10 minutes, you know, I think the Wallabies were penalised about 6 times in their 25 because of the pressure we put them under, and that was frustrating. And so I haven't got any qualms about our decision making and our clinical nature in that period of the game. But you know, we'll find areas that we didn't quite control. I thought we made a number of mistakes when the ball was in behind us. That was frustrating. We didn't deal with the high ball particularly well, and that gave the Wallabies a pretty easy out, and they were good enough to exploit that and then put us under pressure there, and some of their chase got us into trouble, and we conceded a couple of penalties in that space, which was 6 points. So, you know, some of it was it was pretty simple skill execution that we've got to get better at, and but continues next week.
Sam, there's a temptation where it goes down to 14 or 14 or even 14 or 13 to just throw the extra pass or maybe chase space a bit more than you normally do. You have to just try and make sure you keep your shapes. And, is that hard thing to do out in the field?
At the time when you lose someone, you're very much solution focused. You know, you think about how your set piece first and foremost. How are we going to win ball? How does it affect us in these areas? So I suppose in those small huddles on the field, instead of focusing on what you can do in terms of your game structures, you spend a wee bit of time focusing on solutions at set piece, and that takes away from some of your game chat because you get limited minutes or limited time out there, precious seconds, to deliver important messages, and we spend a lot of that time coming out with solutions for scrum, line out, defensive line outs. But to answer your question, I think the times that we looked best were probably just after half time when we went pretty direct and we got a bit of a flow going, but to be honest, the game didn't have a lot of flow.
Ian, do you feel, can you just give an assessment of the Wallabies under Dave Rennie and what you've seen throughout this Bledisloe series? What they're now doing differently?
Oh, look, it's, to be fair, I'm probably not in a great position to do that right now. I think, you know, what we've seen is a very spirited Wallabies team, but I think today's pretty tough to try to figure out what teams are trying to do. You know, I think the game narrowed right down, you know, as a spectacle. As a rugby spectacle, it was disappointing. As a result for Australia and Wallabies, it was immensely exciting. But it's a bit hard to see where their game's evolving. But what we do know is that they want to play a hard carry and clean game, and you know they got criticised last week for a lack of kicking game, and they scored pretty quickly with a kick. You know, so they've learned something. So, and we expect them to get better and better. So, you know, they've got some old heads in there that are doing well, and you know, one's obviously James Slipper. I'd like to congratulate him on his 100th, and it'll be pretty special for him today, I'd imagine. And he's been a worthy opponent over a number of years. So, shook his hand out there, and he had a big smile on his face. So I'm sure he's enjoying the day.
Any last question, gentlemen? Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good one. Catch up, mate. Yeah, thanks.